Guys, welcome back. Last week we discussed the fact that if we did stay over this 4255 fib and we opened higher, it's very likely we're going to progress towards the 4460. So the thing is, we did, right? We did almost hit it. We hit a high of 4448, right? So because we didn't exactly tag this fib, there is an offside chance that the market, right? The market could, you know, use this as support, right? Push up to this 4460 before it came down for this wave 4, right? That is something I am watching as something that is possible. The reason I bring that up is because the fib level wasn't tagged at all. But yeah, it could, right? We know if we go to the weekly time frame on the market, that we know the reason we had a hard rejection off this level is because this is a weekly trend line, right? Acting as resistance. So that is something I am watching out for. Is this going to be the start of a wave 4 pullback, right? What we started, if it is a wave 4 pullback, should be a pretty choppy, up down move, right? All the way down to like 4,300, at least before it has the final wave 5 higher. Or, I mean, there's only two things that are pretty much, at least in my opinion, gonna happen this week. One is that we, head up higher to hit this 4460, 4480 before we come down to correct, right? Correct to that 4,300, right? Maybe 42. I would say, again, I'll have to show you multiple counts, right? So let's just kind of discuss different scenarios that are possible. Number one is I can kind of count this as a leading diagonal, right? Where this is my wave 1, my wave 2, this is your wave 3, your wave 4, and then we're kind of in that wave 5, right? In which case this is your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, your 5. If this is the case, then it's very likely that we are in this count. We're very likely get supported, right? The max this would probably pull back is 4340, gets supported there and pushes up to 4,500 plus to finish off the final wave, right? That's number one way to count it. The other way to count it is this entire thing, right? Is your 1, your 2, and we're kind of in a wave 3. In that case, if we are in a bigger wave 3, then we definitely, right? We probably, find support, push up, right? Push up to that 4460, 4480, right? To finish off the wave 3, then you come down for a wave 4, and then you go higher for a wave 5. So yeah, in both cases, either a pop is going to lead to a drop, or it's going to drop, right? Pull back, reset the RSI before the market proceeds higher. So that's still my primary, thought process and primary scenario. Nothing's kind of changed. We've been talking about this for months now, and yeah, we're just kind of following along the chart. I still, right? For me, this is still my wave A, my wave B. Again, some people don't realize a wave B can break the previous high, right? There's no rule that says it can't break the previous high. So even if, let's just say, the market does happen to make a new high, which I'm still not on the side off. I still think like the higher upper bounds of SPX will cause significant resistance. But even if it does, it's still a wave B that's coming down for a wave C. A lot of people, right? They've counted this entire thing as a 1-2, which honestly, like, it's not possible at all because there's a lot of wave violations. So even if it does make an all-time high, I think your like basis of counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be completely off, just because of the wave structure that's going on underneath. It would more likely be an expanded flat if it does make a new high. So yeah, I would be very careful on who you follow, right? So yeah, I mean, that is the primary expectation for this week. With that being said, right, let's just look at the wicks and all of their indicators that we've been discussing. So wicks, we know it has broken the long-term channel, right? But we also know that it's done 5 waves down. So I wouldn't be surprised if wicks, popped up to 16, 17, right? Rejected before it comes down to test this $11 level that we've been watching out for, right? Let's look at the 10-year. The 10-year hasn't fallen. The 10-year hasn't broken above this 3.86. So I still, think that it does have one more leg left to the downside. The dollar was pretty weak, right? That we suspected last week, but it does have support here. So, I mean, a temporary bounce wouldn't be surprising at all, but I think the bounce will get rejected and the dollar likely, comes down and makes new low. With that being said, right, given that I do expect a pop and drop or a drop, right? This week, let's start out with this week's watch list. Apple, almost a bearish engulfing bar, right? So I personally, as long as Apple, is below 184, I think Apple retests 180, right? And 178. I do have Apple, coming down for this wave 4. Same as the market, right? Same as QQQ, same as SPY. I have kind of the same thing. Either the 3 here is done or it has one more wave before it comes down for a 4, or it's gonna, immediately come down for the wave 4. So yeah, you can pretty much see that I am expecting a drop, right? That will reset a lot of, indicators so the market can push higher. So with that being said, I think, yeah, I mean, where Apple goes, market goes, right? So with that, I do think that Apple probably comes down to about 178, right? Before it heads higher for this wave 5. So that's the reason I have Apple on this week's watch list. But on the other hand, I still, I said that as long as Bitcoin can hold, right? Hold above 25K on any false break, it's likely headed higher. You can very clearly see that Bitcoin has a bull flag going on, right? So I do expect Bitcoin to head up till, 35K at some point before any kind of top can be in. So, I mean, yeah, what are some proxies? RIOT looks good, right? Nice channel, nice ABC pattern. So if it can break over 10.6, 10.7, then I think RIOT, continues to head higher. Same for Mara. It's just kind of been sideways for almost 7 weeks. When it does break out of 10.5, it's likely going to fly. So yeah, it's kind of the reason I have those 2 stocks. The next one I have is Tesla. And again, it's either going to pop and drop or immediately drop. A lot of gaps to fill. I think at minimum in the next couple of weeks, Tesla is going to come down and test, 240, 235 at least before it goes higher for the wave 5. So yeah, that's kind of the bearish chart I have on Tesla. I am kind of expecting a pullback to the downside. And the last but not the least, the Square. Again, the reason for that is sort of an inside week, though it's not. I think it kind of made a high last week of 67 and the previous week, yeah, 8 cents difference. Almost close to being in the same range, right? So if it does break above, let's say 68, right? Square over 68 should see 70, 75 pretty easily. It has broken the downtrend. It's trying to get over the EMAs, but yeah, a bearish, index wouldn't be helpful. It could easily, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this came down to a retest before it pops higher either. So yeah, just watch out for the levels on Square. Yeah, so that's kind of all I have for this week's watch list. Have a great day.